Welcome to Freeform Radio on the Freeform Network. You can follow us at Facebook at Freeform Network, on Twitter at FFR Podcast. And remember to send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. We got everybody's here today. We got Daniel.
Yes, sir. Got a little bit of a headache, but we're going to make this thing pop. And just a reminder right now, Facebook is having some issues, but definitely follow us on Twitter.
And we got Noel.
Hey, thank you for joining us, everyone. It's great to be back.
It's all good, Andy. I'm a little bit under the weather, but we'll get through this. As I say, we'll plow ahead. And yeah, man, I think we got censored by Zuckerberg, but that's maybe we'll talk about it on another show. But let's get into it, man. It's by the time this episode drop, be after Halloween, but Danny has been busy. I think he watched a horror flick here. Nope. Is that a horror flick or is that a scary movie? Break it down for us, Danny. I think I know which one you're talking about, but I don't really into the newer movies lately.
Right. I think Noel talked about this a couple of weeks ago when he watched it. But yeah, I finally got around to watching Nope, the movie. And, you know, I got to say, like, if you break down a movie into like maybe like 3 or 4 chapters, the first 3 of the 4 were really good. And to me, the fourth, I liked it up to like the last 5 or 10 minutes. And, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie or anything like that, but I can't even explain what would make it where it would be a satisfied ending. But I'm kind of like in that camp of those like Dexter season movie watchers where they're like, oh, it ended kind of shitty, or Sopranos where the ending was kind of shitty. I'm kind of like
shitty.
I'm kind of in that camp for Nope, but I can't even articulate what would make it better. Just that I didn't really care for it the way it ended. I like movies that are kind of like those mess with your mind kind of movies. I like that it was a different spin. It wasn't the typical, oh, it's science, aliens are coming down, or it's this and that. You know, it was just like something totally out of left field. But yeah, man, I dug it up to a point. I thought it was definitely different, which I liked. I still can't figure what the monkey thing is about and why that even has a point in the movie, other than it's like, all right, how do we shoe in this monkey story into it? But
so what's the premise? What's the plot?
It's comparing the creature to an animal, like the way we treat the animals and stuff like that, and the way they react to us when like enough is enough or whatever. It's kind of like it's like symbolic. They
okay.
You're supposed to make that connection, but I ended up watching like a one of those like reaction videos, or not reaction videos, but like a
breakdown.
Analyze, yeah,
right.
Like analyze it, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a farm family that raises horses, and then you put these horses into movies. So when you see the Long Ranger, they're the ones that deal with the horse training to help the actors and whatnot. So it's this family that have horses. They go through some stuff internally with their own family, but at the end of the day, they end up seeing something in the sky behind these clouds, and they can't really figure out what it is. And so the whole premise of the movies is figuring out what this thing in the clouds is. So really cool to a certain point. I really, really wanted to like it a lot. And my wife doesn't really dig too much horror movies. She's not really a huge horror fan, but she was watching it with me, and even her at the end, she was just like, I have no idea what the hell this is about, or what was going on. She's like, I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. And I'm like, you know, I kind of fall like into the same plan. I don't know what it is about it that makes me not really care for it too much.
Well, that's usually a flag of it's a bad movie when you don't know what the fuck you just watched.
I mean, I get the plot points. I get what happened. It wasn't something like where it was incomprehensible. And It doesn't do any kind of like flashbacks or anything like that. It's just a straightforward movie. Um, I just don't know. Something about it didn't gel right with me. And I really wanted to like it. So, yeah, unfortunately, I can't recommend it, but it's definitely something cool to watch if you want to see something different and not the typical aliens, horror, slasher kind of, you know, if you consider it a horror movie. I originally thought that that was the route it was going to go because the trailer is really ambiguous and doesn't really tell you too much. So, yeah, other than that, nope, I can't really recommend it too much, but I'm gonna try to keep the horror theme movie thing going. I'm hoping today maybe I'll get to watch another one that I've had in my queue for a while. So yeah, maybe the next time we get together, I'll have some thoughts on that. Uh, the only other things I've been doing is, I've been kind of. I know typically I talk a lot about gaming and whatnot, but I've been kind of in a gaming funk, man. I haven't really, nothing's called out to me other than I don't want to spend a lot of money either. So I'm not buying all the new games that are coming out. I mean, there's like the Horizon sweet game came out, but I haven't really wanted to spend $70 to buy it. Um, there was a Returnal, which seems kind of interesting, but I haven't wanted to pay, $60. I think it's down to or 40. So yeah, man, there's nothing really calling to me. So I was just looking at like my library stuff that I had, and I had Assassin's Creed Part 2, which is actually a PlayStation 3 game. This game came out on PlayStation 3. I played it on PlayStation 3 and I actually beat it. It was right when I was starting to get really into gaming, PlayStation 3, I really got heavy into it. And I played Part 1, which is kind of in the um, like the Jerusalem age kind of thing, where Jesus was around, and that's what Part 1 is kind of in that timetable. And Part 2 is in the Italian Renaissance with like Leonardo, not DiCaprio, but Da Vinci and stuff like that. And it's a really cool premise. I really enjoyed it back in PlayStation 3. I I played it a little on PlayStation 4 because they re-released it just with like some up-res, 1080p kind of stuff. And so now I'm playing it on PlayStation 5. It looks okay, but you could see it's dated. You could see it's an old game, but it's got a really cool mechanic that I really dug. And as soon as I started jumping into it, it kind of scratched that little itch of, those Ubisoft games where you got 100 things to collect. You got to kind of grab these things to boost your character, and it's pacifying right now for me not really wanting to play or know what to play next. So yeah, Assassin's Creed 2. Not sure if you even played that, Noel. I know you game a little bit. Are you familiar with it?
I've played the first one for a little bit, but I haven't beat any of the Assassin's Creeds. One of these days, I'm gonna do like a whole like series and play it all, but I haven't even gotten around to that one yet. Massive backlog right now in games, dude.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know we kind of spoke a little bit the other day, and you mentioned you were trying to get back into gaming. But yeah, man, Assassin's Creed, this is definitely an older formula to Ubisoft. So if you're looking for the newer style, kind of like the last two recent ones, those are more like open world and more modernized for sure. And where
Um,
this kind of falls into the older category.
Real quick, then I think Assassin's Creed, the one in the medieval times, or the during I'm not the medieval, the Crusades one. I think you gave me that game on the PS3, and I did play
Right.
it. I did not like it. That's what I recall. That's the one where you try to like just be a sleuth or like sneak around, right? And
Right.
then like I remember that tutorial in the beginning. I'm like, this fucking sucks. I don't like this. But going back to your gaming funk now, I think you're kind of experiencing what I experience right now with movies. I feel like a lot of them are just garbage, and I really don't want to
Really?
waste my time. Like you just went through that movie Nope, and you're just like, I don't recommend it, and like you just wasted 2 hours of your life that you're never gonna get back. Now, when you play, like you're looking at the video games and not just the financial, your decision sounds mostly financial. so you're forced to play catalogs of games that you got.
Right.
So does that decision, is it because most of the new games you do play, do they suck, or you just don't want to play them because it's a lot of money right now?
Right. I mean, the last game that I played that was fairly new was that Far Cry one that I spoke about a few weeks ago.
Is that from Breaking Bad, that game, or the one after?
Yeah, the one with Gustavo Fring.
Isn't that like an older game? Isn't it like over 5 years old or no?
I would say it's got to be like 3 years the most old. So it's fairly newish as far as its release. It's the last Far Cry that was released. I guess I'll put it that way. So I'm not kind of not willing to pay for newer games, but usually I do wait for them to drop in price. So Black Friday's coming around. I'll probably pick up a game or two that's kind of in the newer-ish category. Maybe I'll keep an eye out for like this Returnal, this Horizon Part 2, and then God of War's coming out next week, I think, or the following week, the new God of War. And I'm kind of interested in that, but I definitely wait for sales. I don't pay the full price, almost never. It's got to be something really like, man, I got to have this day one. But I'm a pretty patient person. I can wait, and I got all these catalog of old games that every now and then, like in Assassin's Creed, that I jump into and kind of, start playing to kind of fill me in.
So like the reason I bring it up, the last Call of Duty, they're releasing a new one usually around Christmas, right? It's coming up. The one before that, Vanguard, I think it was the last version of it, and there was a sale and it was $20 or something on one of these groups that I belong to. And the discussion was, I was like reading the comments, like, don't buy it, wait till it's $10 because this is not even worth 20. And I think the last couple Call of Duties have been like that, like Ghost. I remember seeing it for like $10 brand new. I don't know if because they make so many copies or what, but in generally the reviews have been not great for the last couple Call of Duties. And so I'm always wondering, like I like those shooter games, and like, should I pay it or should I just wait till it drops to $10? Because I don't really do the online. I just do the game, the story mode. And I always wonder, like is that the new thing going on in gaming? I mean, there's always people who are gonna pay full price no matter what on newer games, but the price drops lately have in the last couple of years. From what I game is just the price drops come pretty quickly now.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you're a patient gamer, this is the best time, just because you can wait for these to get into a deal. And I kind of agree with you. The Call of Duty, well, to its own point, because Ghost was definitely a low point, and then they followed up with Advanced Warfare, and that was kind of lacking too. But when they came out with that Black Ops, that's when it started kind of popping again, and I started kind of enjoying. I'm also just a story guy. I don't really game online too much, and that Black Ops was a really good story. And then I think after that was like Infinity something. And then the World War II was after that. And then now they started kind of like doing this Modern Warfare reimagining again. Where they like did it again, or the first part. And now this next one, I think it's called Vanguard or Modern Warfare 2 or something like that.
Yeah, it's modern. The title did have Modern Warfare.
Right.
But I don't know what version they're on or what story they're doing. But it looks like the trailer I saw looked realistic. I'm like, I think they're fighting Russians again or something, or communists or something like that. It didn't look like Middle East or anything like that. It looked like they were fighting somewhere in Europe again.
Right. So I usually pick those up when they hit the $20 bins, just because I'm just a story guy and I don't need to be part of the online community. But yeah, man, I'm hoping this Black Friday I find a game or two that's more on the newer side so I could pick up. They just re-released The Last of Us Part 1, the first game of it. They redid the entire graphics, and I'm kind of interested in that. I really want to pick that up. But yeah, man, I'm not a big spender as far as it comes to games. And then, I'm kind of tight with money to begin with. I don't like spending a lot of money, so it kind of just falls into my mo, cheap or whatever you call it. But to me, I see a value in this hobby that I have of video gaming, and it's not worth spending $50 on, especially when to go get a pack of hamburgers, some buns, and some condiments. It would probably run me $50 the same. So what do
So,
I want to do? Go buy some badass hamburgers, or do I want to play the modern Call of Duty?
so
So
with the current inflation rate, did you bump it up to 25 or 30?
we'll have to see, man. I'm kind of curious as to how Black Friday comes out. Are they going to have these like massive deals like they usually have? They have like DVDs for $5 and video games for
Well,
20. I'm wondering if with the inflation, is that going to be higher now, or
so
DVDs going to be $10?
I mean, going into Black Friday real quick, the CEO of Walmart just said we're gonna be closed on Thanksgiving now. I guess Black Friday's still a thing, right? Maybe online, but remember, like, we never gonna fucking close all that bullshit. The Walmart, one of America's largest online retailers, online and whatever, said we're not gonna be open on Thanksgiving. We're gonna be closed. So I wonder how many, like Target and what's left of Best Buy and all these other like, are they gonna follow that lead? Because it came to a point where like we're opening Thanksgiving and there was a big, people were feeling bad for the workers, but yet people went in hordes to go buy all these cheap shit.
Yeah, I don't think it's super necessary to open your doors anymore because everything is online for the most part. My last 2 or 3 Black Fridays, I've just ordered online, like at
Yeah,
Walmart or Best Buy or whatever deals I was interested in.
me too.
Now they do have those door busters where it's like absolute like breaking pricing, but usually they only got like 5 of them in the store. So as soon as you get there, they're gone anyway. So those are for like the true diehard people that are camping out to get that laptop for $200. And it's just not worth it for somebody to come in, a few hours into the sale. That stuff's all gone by the time you get there. But we'll have to see, man. Thanksgiving is around the corner, and we'll have to see how those deals are. But Noel, tell us about any deals that you're finding, man. I see this Camaro SS, man. I'm like, oh, dang, Jesus, what's going on over here?
No, yeah, there's no deals right now, man. But I'm hoping that this next year there might be some price drops. Hearing some good things in regards to that. Hearing that interest rates are hopefully going to be going down as well. So, I've had the car I have right now for about 15 years, and it's running great and everything. And I'm really blessed and happy to still have it and in good condition. But I do think about like the future. Do I want to get a new car in the future as this car starts to get older, and just to have some backup. And so, I'm in my 30s. I feel like there's no time like the present to get a car that I've wanted for a while. Um, my cousin got this Ford Mustang he got a couple years back, and it's the Ford Mustang GT 5.0. It's got like 400 plus horsepower. It's got a V8. It sounds mean, dude. Sounds great. And anytime I hang out with him and we're gonna go to like restaurant or something to eat, he'll drive, and when he turns on the car, that sound, I'm like, dude, I want to hear that sound in my garage or in my driveway when I go to work or whatever. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I want to maybe either get a Mustang or get a Camaro. And I was looking at other options initially, like 2, 3 years ago before COVID happened. I was looking at getting a Subaru WRX, and they were around like 25 to 28, with fully loaded, all the options, everything that
Like the one
I
Sawa
wanted.
had?
Uh, well, I mean, it'd be the newer version,
Right,
yeah.
right, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the. I mean, that would be a cool one to get too, but it's just no one has it with low miles anymore. That '03, that was a beautiful one though. I liked it. It had the bug out lights, huge fog lights on the bottom. But the
Yeah,
new ones,
yeah.
they look nice, but it's nothing special. Like it's just it's a good car and everything. It's got a turbo, but it's a 4 cylinder. It's nothing. You're not gonna race anybody really and expect to beat these like high level cars. But I wasn't getting it for that anyway. I'm not gonna be racing or nothing. But anyway, long story short, after COVID hit, prices on everything skyrocketed to the point that that car I was looking at for 25 to 28 is right now 38,000. So I'm like, dude, if I'm gonna get a fucking car and it's gonna be 38,000 for a Subaru, I'm like, I might as well get a freaking Camaro, or a Mustang, because the Mustangs are affordable. They're like between 38 and 42. Same with the Camaros. You can get some, around that price, 38 to 45. And so I was looking, I'm like, let me get the SS, because what I'm hearing as well is that the Camaro, they're gonna stop making them gas powered and switch over to electric. So it's gonna be almost like a collector's item, because the Toyota Supra, the very last Supra they made, 98 or 99, I think it was 98. That one right now is hundreds of thousands, dude. It's like 100 to 200,000 to get a 98 Supra, because they don't make them like that anymore. That's it, it's done. And now you get the new one. It's essentially a rebadged BMW. It's or what is it called, Scion or whatever? Not the Scion. One of those like Toyota brands, and it's just not the same. The Supra changed so crazy. So to me, it's like, you know what, this Camaro might be something that is gonna hold its value more so than other cars, because they're not
Right.
gonna make them anymore.
Yeah, it's funny how that Supra, how people love that one. I mean, it looks nice, but man, people are so enamored by that brand and that car.
It's the tunability. Yeah, it's the sleek look plus the tunability, because you could do a lot with that engine.
Okay. Yeah, the Camaro, I dated a girl that had a Camaro, but it was like super old. And there is something about a Camaro. I mean, it's a nice looking car. Um, so yeah, if you're gonna get the SS, that's definitely a sweet ride. But I mean, are you going through like a midlife? You're younger than me, man. You're not in your 60s getting these Trans Ams
Are you in your 60s then?
and no, not yet. But I'm saying usually midlife crisis hits like 60. So
50.
it,
Who's counting, right?
oh,
Yeah.
is it 50?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess if you're gonna live to 100, 50 would be
Yes.
the midpoint. Yeah. But yeah, man, Camaros, those are awesome cars.
Yeah, I was looking at them recently. The price right now is pretty up there. It's like in the 40s, but like I said, next year I hear the economy is gonna drop down the interest rates for all that, for loans and stuff. So I'm setting aside some funds. It's not a guarantee, but I'm taking a look into it. And like I said, they're not gonna make them gas powered anymore. So it's like one of those things that it's like I either get it now or I don't ever get it. So.
Yeah, I think it'd be sweet. We were actually coming out of the grocery store the other day, and I go to Junior. Hey, but if you're gonna buy me a Tesla, buy me this one. It was like an SUV one. I'm like, this is a nice one right here. He's just like, oh, Daddy, you could afford it by yourself. They're not that expensive. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, Mr. Moneybags over here, not that expensive.
Oh man, yeah. Wait until he starts getting the job, and then he's be like, "All right, never mind."
He's like, what? Taxes? We got to pay taxes? Huh?
Oh man, dude. Yeah, to be a kid again, just no responsibilities, no real understanding of the way the world is, man. He'll get there. He'll realize like, okay, yeah, this is like serious money here.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm setting aside some money right now, and I definitely want to buy it new. A lot of people say you should buy used, and I'm like, the way I am, like this car that I have, I'm the only owner, and there's something about being the only owner of that car that
Right.
I feel more comfortable. Um, Even
Yeah,
if
I
they
think,
only owned it for like 1,000 miles.
yeah, I think financially, analysts are right. If you were to get a car with 1,000 miles, you would get it for a better value, but you never know what they did for those 1,000 miles.
I don't know if they threw up on there while they friggin' were like on a binge drinking night or whatever, just all
Yeah.
sorts of things. People
I
banging in
know
the
what
back seat.
I know when I get loaners from the dealers or like if I rent a car, man, I'm always gunning it every corner. I'm doing like craziest shit on it because it's not my car. But
Exactly.
yeah, for my car, I'm taking it easy and I'm slow idling off of the stop.
Dude, I'm glad you mentioned that, dude. I recently I've noticed, just even though these gas prices are crazy, people like don't drive like they are crazy. People drive like they're low as fuck, because when I drive like how you just said right there, like I drive, pick up slow speed, and then I casually shift the gears and pick up, where I'm supposed to be going. and I go maybe 5 miles over the limit or whatever, nothing crazy, but I
Right.
still, I'm going a good speed. But these people, as soon as the light turns green, bam, like they're hitting that gas hard. I'm like, shit, some of these are pickups, SUVs, and I'm like, I guess you guys don't give a shit about gas prices. You guys hitting the gas hard as fuck.
And get ready, man, because I heard starting the new year, gas pricing is going to go up
Well,
because
that tax thing, right?
the tax expires. Because right now, I don't know if you noticed, in Cook County, the pricing is actually cheaper than some of the other counties because they're uh, not charging their typical tax that they charge. So,
And they have a higher tax on it
right.
than probably the rest of the state.
So once they turn on that tax at the start of the year, get ready for gas pricing to go up, 20 cents or whatever it is. And I don't think people are going to like that. So I agree. I see the same thing. People gunning it and just burning gas left and right. I'm like, dang, man, I guess people don't care that gas pricing is $5 a gallon.
It's insane, dude. But I mean, thankfully, I don't work too far from home, so I get about a quarter tank use, so every week. So yeah, I mean, I guess my tank will last me a month if I don't refill.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah. So that's that. We'll see how that goes. Another thing I did this weekend, I watched Halloween Ends on Friday after work. I like speaking of gunning it, like I gunned it to the theater because I went to go watch it with my cousin. He lives out there pretty far in Bufu land, west of Chicago. So yeah, as soon as I got out of work, rushed over there, and we got in line to see the Halloween Ends movie in theaters. I know it came out on streaming, but we're like, you know what, man? If this really is the end of Halloween, like, let's watch that shit in theaters. Let's make an experience out of it. And so we watched it. It was almost 2 hours, probably like an hour 40. And initially, before I watched it, I heard a lot of bad reviews about it, and I heard a lot of people talking shit and saying
Right.
that not to spoil anything, but people were saying that you're not going to see Michael Myers until almost the end of the movie, and like most of it is not even about him; it's about someone else. And I was skeptical. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to like it now because it's like what they're saying. And when I watched it, I was like, you know what? Like, I did like it, and I liked it despite all that. Like, it actually made me feel like okay, like it wasn't a waste. Like they made use of a new character and they made him fit in and they made it interesting and intriguing. Um, like you watch Stranger Things, so when they add in a new character, like the well, you haven't seen the newest season, right? So there's gonna be a new character that they add in this newest season when you're gonna watch it,
Right.
and initially like people are hesitant about new characters, but the thing is, if they do it right, it enhances the original quality of the product because you can only do so many seasons before it gets stale. So you need to add like new flavors, new ingredients to it, keep making it fresh. And I feel like this character they added to Halloween, it fit in. And while it did seem kind of rushed because they didn't build him up in the previous two movies, it ultimately worked. Um, and it brought like, I guess, it brought some cool horror elements to it. And you do see Michael, and while he's not necessarily the only main character. Um, he is represented. It does kind of give this vibe to the Cult of Thorn Halloween. I don't know if you
Oh,
know those.
yeah. Yeah.
It gives that vibe where there's like some subliminal, like supernatural ability going on here,
Oh, dang.
and while they don't overtly say like Cult of Thorn, they don't mention Cult of Thorn like that. If you've seen the series, you kind of get that vibe like, oh, something's going on here. Like he's
Hmm.
able to like affect people in a different way than just him going and killing people. And so
Interesting.
the last movie is truly the last movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it does have a definitive end and a conclusion to the story. And you know what, man? It's hard to end anything. It's hard to end any good, series. Thinking back on all the series that have ever ended, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw, all those, it's hard to do it. And I feel like, you know what? They could have done worse. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. It was definitely worth watching. Uh, I would recommend it if you like Halloween, but to each their own. So I'll understand if you don't like it, if you agree with what other people were reviewing, but looking forward to hearing your review on it when you watch it, Daniel.
Yeah, man. I'm a huge Michael Myers fans. Not as much as Jason. I kind of was Friday 13, then Halloween were like my main staples when I was younger. So I was huge excited for this Halloween ends, but I heard the same stuff that it kind of sucks. Like, Michael Myers doesn't really show up too much. Even the lady, I forget her name, Schreider or
Laurie Strode.
Jamie Lee
Laurie Strode.
Curtis.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, that she doesn't show up too much either. That they're building this other character is what I kept hearing in these non-spoiler reviews that I was looking at, and that yeah, they're building this third character. And as soon as I heard that, I stopped listening to the reviews. I'm like, I don't want to know anything else. And my first thought, what I started running towards, is just like, this is Halloween ends for the Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween. And this new character, I bet you they're starting it to be like, all right, this is going to be the new Halloween moving forward kind of thing. And that was my initial thought when I heard the first reviews. Now, I haven't seen the movie, but like I mentioned, I was super excited, but it kind of dampened my excitement to where, I don't know, I'll get to it when I get to it kind of thing. It kind of killed my buzz that I had for it. But this Thorn thing, a lot of people don't like that part of Halloween, the whole cult thing, but I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool, yeah, when they had it and when they introduced it. But um yeah, it kind of piques my interest again now hearing that part. I'm like, well, maybe it's not half bad, even though to me a Halloween movie is Michael Myers. He should be in it 80% of the movie. This everything that I keep hearing, he's only in there for like 20 minutes. I don't like hearing that. To me, he should be in the forefront. He should be in every other scene, just peeking around the corner, just kind of watching you there taking a shower, and he's just like, hey, I'm looking at you. It should be like that. He should be there all the time, just kind of
Y-
watching you.
You know what though, man? Let's say you do that, then people are gonna be like still bashing it. Oh, it's the same as every other movie. He just peeks at you while you're in the shower. You know what I mean? So it's like you
Right,
really can't win because
for
that's
sure.
just the current day and age, man. Everyone's just shitting on shit because that's the trend is like, oh, what are we gonna trash next? But give it a chance. It's to me, it's definitely not the worst horror movie I've ever seen, dude. People were like trashing it like it was like garbage, dude. Have they ever seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Have they ever seen Trolls 2? Like these are
Whoa,
real
man, that's a
bad movies,
classic right
man.
there, man. Killer
Exactly,
Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, I mean, if you like bad movies, you got to watch that, and you'll really know what a bad movie is.
It's considered a classic.
Yeah, I
They
never
made a
seen
video
that
Classic,
one.
game out of
yeah,
it.
dude. Yeah, no,
They
it's
make a
horrible,
video
dude.
out of fucking Halloween, a video game.
Yeah, they did.
Man,
Well,
listen, was it
he's an
bad?
he's an add-on, isn't
It
he?
was
Like
bad too.
where, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're right. They added them on like the Mortal Kombat thing, right? Or
Uh,
no?
maybe that, but the one I was thinking was Dead by Daylight or something like that. Dead by Dawn or some
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Dead
like
by Daylight.
some online game where Michael Myers comes after you and you're like a group of like five or six normal characters and you're trying to find the battery to turn on the car and try to find the distributor cap so you can put it on. So everybody's got like a little job you got to do, and the whole time Michael Myers is after you.
Yeah, no, it's a fun game. I've seen it. It's
Yeah,
be cool to one day all of us play it.
yeah, for sure.
But anyway, last thing I'm gonna say is, yesterday I had a bonfire. I had a chance to get the family together, and we had a bonfire since the weather out here is in the 70s for this weekend, and it's probably gonna be the last weekend we get a chance to do it. So it was really cool, man. Just really just summarize it. We got to make some s'mores. We got that bonfire going. We got some good 80s synth wave and 80s rock music in the background, and just everybody getting a chance to catch up and enjoy the weather, and it was a good time, man. So just want to say thanks to the family that came out, and yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, man.
Awesome.
It was kind of like a Stranger Things, but at the crib.
But yeah, no. So the weather's getting good here. We're gonna shift it over to Andy. And it looks like here we got you talking about inflation, dude. What's going on here?
So yeah, basically the we here in Illinois there was some type of like relief money being handed out to residents of the
Taxpayers.
state or taxpayers, I guess.
Right.
And I started hearing months ago people got their money and I didn't get it. So I'm like, man, maybe I'm part of the 1% with their current governor or something. But I was asking around, like everybody got it months ago. Because I know you got it, right, Dan?
Yeah, but I didn't get it months ago. I just got it recently, like maybe 2 weeks ago.
And then did you get it, Noel?
Yeah, I think I brought it up a couple weeks ago when we had the last episode that I got a check in the mail. I thought I would have gotten deposited, but they gave me a check for $50.
Yeah. Some people in my family, people at work. The first I heard about it was like somebody at work got it like 2 months ago. And then well, I got mine finally like this week and I was like, oh, great. And then I just put that money to the bank, but I was kind of worried that I wasn't going to get it or something else happened. And with the current way the economy is right now and stuff, I was kind of nervous. I mean, not nervous, but I'm just like, I could use that money. I could use that $300.
Hey, did they give you extra for your junior? Because technically he wasn't born the last time you filed taxes.
No, I mean all I got was $299. I mean I don't. That's the rate I heard, like $300 or $50.
Yeah, I can't even remember how much I got, but 200 or 300 sounds right. I'm not.
I got $299 and change. So the three was
Yeah.
people. They said if you own a home, you were getting three or something like
Okay.
that. And everybody else was getting like $50 or something. Or if you're single or you don't own a home, that was my understanding of it. But yeah, I got it, and then I told my wife, and my wife's like, "What? We're supposed to get money back?" Like, yeah, exactly. So I put it in the bank, and but I did have some paranoia, like, am I gonna have to do some stupid shit, like, to see if why did I get my money or they took it? Do I owe money to the state or some bullshit like that? Like always, my paranoia gets the better of me. But,
yeah, I think that check is gonna definitely counteract the $5 gas, inflation, and all that good stuff.
And the $50 hamburgers and shit.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get too political, but I mean, everybody's with the fourth quarter and Christmas and the holidays. I mean, shit's getting pricey, man. And then the dollar ain't as strong as it used to be. Not that anybody who lives in America knows if you ain't rich. So I don't know. Like it just where everybody's hoping, like you said, everybody's holding off on making big purchases and into going into next year because everybody's like, this recession that's coming. I think we are in a recession already, to be honest with you.
That's what's kind of scary to me. I feel like we're in a recession, and they're saying the recession's coming. I'm like, so it's going to get worse? I'm like, it's already pretty shitty.
It's gonna bottom out. I mean, I don't know. Everybody, the people that I follow, I mean, in financial news that, not predict, but they talk about this stuff. They said we've been in a recession since like the end of summer, and they think it should bottom out. I mean, whatever data they look at, they think like by the end of spring or like the summer around there should bottom out. That's why you're getting stuff like with the high interest rates, and I think they just raised the interest rate again, and they're talking about there might be another one coming. There is that's why getting loans like Noel's talking about, he wants to purchase the car. I mean, if you purchase a house right now, I think you're getting it close to a 30-year mortgage is like between 6.5% or higher percent interest, which is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
So when people were used to like 3-4% interest rate, like it doubles. It's crazy, and they're predicting the bottom falling out on the housing market again this upcoming spring, summer, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. We're pretty good about putting money away, so we might, depending on how it goes, we might buy a bigger house if the market does what it's supposed to. I know it sounds bad, but this is why. This is why you put money. This is what rich people do.
For sure, this is when rich people buy. Is when everything is cheap because inflation and whatnot, interest rates. And then when the market rebounds, this is when they make a ton of money. So yeah, if you save money and at the bottom hits, man, that's the time to invest and put your money in.
That's why those $300 is gonna help me out a lot.
For sure.
I was also reading today. I mean, not to get too much into money. I mean, basically, it's my whole thing. My time. Uh, the Fed guys are proposing something with Robinhood and Virtue about the retail stocks. Sounds like something's gonna happen with that. I don't know if it's gonna come to an end, but they are proposing that they have to go through the way Robinhood and Virtue, the other retail stock, the app people, how they purchase stocks. They're supposed to go through uh, some type of um, hedge fund or some clearinghouse that they wanted to go directly into somehow into the market or something. They're gonna put a stop the way it's going now. So I don't know what that means, for people who buy stocks through Robinhood and other ways. And I think the other one they were pushing on what's called Virtue or something. It's going to be interesting, and they're talking about is implementing something as early as November, before the end. The earliest November, but definitely before the end of the year. It's going to get and like as soon as that announcement came out, like Robinhood stock and everything like completely dropped big time, man. It dropped like just huge. So I don't know. It doesn't sound good. So you might
Yeah,
have to go buy through like your normal like E-Trade and like Citadel and all this other stuff. You might have to go through them to buy stocks again or something like that.
it might be where Robinhood, these group of stocks, you can get them for free, but to purchase these stocks, you have to get a Robinhood premium or something, maybe.
I don't know, man. It just I think the way we just buying it like through your phone, I think that's gonna come to an end. They're gonna make you do something, or I don't know. It doesn't. It's not even. It looks like they're not making it simple. And then the way they're talking about how you buy the stock, Robinhood buys the stock from like other companies. They want to do it. That's where the change is happening. Robinhood can't just go through these preferred people they have. They want it to go through like a bunch of people. So it's gonna be some regulation there, and they think it's gonna get all screwy.
But my AMC is cool, right?
Well, man, I was reading today the new prediction. They think AMC could go up to 200,000, and and they were talking about how many people are gonna hold. But I don't know. I was pissed off. I didn't buy the Ape stock. Because that thing went up like in $1 this past week. It was almost down to under $1.50. Right now, I think it was 253 or something. Right? Did you see that? And
Yeah,
I was pissed. I didn't buy more.
yeah, I didn't see what it's up to, but we were talking yesterday, and I brought it up to Alana, or I brought it up to the group I was talking at, that I bought some more AMC when I thought it was at its bottom, and I bought some more Ape, and I just looked over to Alana, and she just rolled her eyes. So I'm like, I don't know if she's too happy that I keep dumping more into AMC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the AMC, the Ape one, which it looks like the AMC preferred equity. That's the name of the stock. Is it got down to like $1, man. It was like something ridiculous, or not. It was really close to $1. And right now it's at 270. Then look at that. And I remember seeing the lowest position, $1.48. It got down to like $1.50, and I was like, I should buy like just $500 shares of this shit. Now I'm pissed off that I didn't.
Yeah, I bought 73 shares at $1.36.
There you go, man. You made your dollar back and some. It's at the
Yeah,
270 right now.
right.
It went up 10% on Friday. So I don't know. But going with that, with the to my advice, my financial advice is save your money, dude. Save it for rainy day, even though Biden's inflation is fucking us up. And the other thing I got is the Biden's tuition. Damn, I can't think of the name. The forgiveness that got put to a stop on Friday.
Nice.
You see that they're
No.
not gonna forgive the 10,000 to all these people because they were pushing apply here to get your forgiveness, and then I don't know who's suing or somebody took them to court and they put a halt to it. It was
Well, I know
temporarily blocked.
Yeah, they activated the website. That was the last I heard.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that one too. Like all I know in 2008 with the housing, if I would have gotten $10,000 off my mortgage, man, that would have fucking helped me out enormous. But I didn't get that shit, so I don't know. It's kind of fucking weird.
I have some thoughts on the tuition and the housing and all that. I think people in need should definitely get help. I purchased this house, and God willing, I can keep it, and nothing happens. But if something goes upside down, I'm the one that made the decision to buy this house. The same way I made the decision to go to school and take on loans for tuition. So those are my decisions that made those choices. So I don't know, man. I'm cool for helping people, but there's got to be a limit. I mean, there's a lot of responsible adults that pay their tuition in full by themselves at those interest rates. And now you're telling me, well, too bad for them. They paid it. All these people that are currently paying, oh, we're going to forgive it for you guys. And so I kind of find it difficult for people. I've paid my tuition out of my pocket. So what? Just because I've paid my tuition, now I'm kind of stuck because I don't owe anything. So are you telling me I should always just have debt over my head for the one chance that the government will swoop in and give me money for it? I don't know.
That's how the rich operate, though, too. It's weird. Like all these, what is it called? Short sellers and shit. Like, that's why Robin Hood was so, like, again, it really showed, like, Robin Hood's corruption. Because when they started to try to, what is it called? Stop the short selling of GameStop, and they started raising the price. They're like, oh no, you can't buy anymore or they like restricted it or whatever.
Yeah, because of market irregularities. Yeah, they put some weird shit like, okay, you're giving hedge funds and other people, basically, when it comes down to rich people, trying to formulate or trying to steady themselves and come up with a plan to stop this fucking bleeding and shit, because they were the ones that are really getting fucked on that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
But yeah, I mean, the tuition, like I said, people, I get it, man. Like, school tuition's expensive depending on where you go, from a state college down to like a prestige, like Ivy League or somewhere else. It's it's expensive, but I mean, you know what you're signing up to. I mean, so I guess where I get frustrated is, it's not like, yeah, you got screwed, but I think a lot of people are expecting it, and they're like, it's cool, I'm not gonna pay for it anyway. Now what we got, who's in the White House, that guy's gonna fucking bail me out. And like always, when you expect something, it's not what you really want. It's like some partial help, like always. It's like, oh, we're only gonna give you this, but I owe this much. Or like in 2008 with the housing, oh yeah, we told the banks to modify your loan. We're gonna lower your payment. Like, with sucker people, they always sucker poor people. How much my payments? We lowered your payment by like $500. Oh sweet, but they're tacking it on to your loan, and at the end and the extent, like, it's some stupid, like, sneaky shit. They just added more money to your loan without even knowing, because they lowered your payment, right? Like, that's like the big secret. On top of it, a lot of people don't know, if you get a $10,000 write off, that's probably going to be taxed too. I mean, you're going to get taxed on that. And a lot of these kids are like, whoa, I got to pay taxes on this shit. Well, you basically got 10 G's for free, man. You think the government's not going to say, we want our cut from you?
Yeah, for sure. When I was younger, I took a loan out of my 401k, and I was kind of sticker shocked to find out that I had to pay taxes on that money that I took out. So, yeah, definitely any kind of free money that came out of nowhere that you didn't work for, and that you didn't have a W-2 taking your tax portion off, you got to pay for. So,
That's why, man. Like, there should be classes in school that show you like how to avoid all that. Because the rich people know, they know very well,
Right.
like IRAs and certain Roth IRAs, and there's like certain different accounts you can get for kids, like tuition, college funds, and all that, to where they don't tax it, to where you avoid
Yeah.
having to pay tax on it.
So when one of the greatest educations I got is my current job, and how a corporation runs, and uh a lot of companies do it, but the corporate, if you start a company, the corporation, you as the owner or you have a majority share of a company, you're not responsible or liable for any money or any debts that the company incurs. On top of it, the company pays a lot of your stuff, salary, health care, life insurance. It's like benefits. We all get that, but there's other stuff that you could take out of the company legally. I didn't know any of this, and like you're right, Noel. Like entrepreneurs have an idea of like, I'm gonna start a company and sell shit, but there's a lot of ways to take money out of companies, which I never learned at school, and you had to basically learn on your own.
For sure.
But so we're out here all to get hopefully the system, you try to fuck the system, you don't let the system fuck you, because it's a dog eat world. But speaking of getting fucked here, this is gonna take us into our interesting article of the week. So the article we have a candidate, a New York House candidate, is running for Congress, and it came out that he released a sex tape. Mike Itkes, who has this is on the Hill, has a long shot campaign to unseat Jerry Nader, a Democrat, in New York's 12th congressional district. Recently released a video of himself having sex on camera that was posted to a porn site earlier this year. He goes, creating the video significantly influenced my political platform, leading me to create the principles of sex work legalization and to speak about the complexities of consent and the pros and cons of privacy considerations. So I don't know if he got all that shit, but he's running for Congress. He's a long shot. I think a tape came out and he's like, yeah, I did that shit and I got paid for it, or I paid somebody and there was consent. And like, yeah, check it out and then vote for me if you like my performance. I mean, reminds me of a movie. This is what's going on in American politics. Is you ever seen the movie The Campaign with Will Ferrell and the guy, I can't think of his name, the Two Ferns guy. They did
Dan
a movie.
Galifianakis.
Yeah, they did that movie about campaign, and like he fucks one of the guy's wives and he releases the video. He's like, I endorse this message.
Damn.
Like, you never seen that? It's called The Campaign. It's fucking hilarious. But this is the vibes that I'm getting from this, and I guess the era of American civility and these people, people who run for office for being somewhat intelligent and offering a lot, is just like, these people are supposed to be smarter than you, I guess, from when I grew up, and you look at them now, you could tell they're not. And this is just one like step of like weird, just, I don't want to say we're lost in America, but I'm just like, fuck, man. Like, you got a campaign guy releasing a sex tape. Like, what the fuck is next?
Right. Now, I guess to not shit on it entirely, I know there's a lot of people that want to legalize prostitution, and that's what he ends up doing. He ends up hiring a prostitute or like an adult porn star or something like that, and he has sex on this tape. So in his campaign mono, whatever, he wants to make consensual sex between two adults, whether it's paid or not paid, to be legal. And there are a lot of people that are for that are for the decriminalization of prostitution, similar to how they're decriminalizing weed. that they fall into that same game camp.
Now, speaking of, okay, then, so think about that. Like, I know we're not supposed to get on a moral high ground here, but here in Illinois, we got gambling, which, I mean, no matter how you look at it, if you're a Christian, I don't know, maybe Muslim too, uh, gambling is a sin, right? And then now you got marijuana. You sell marijuana. You sell booze. Again, it's a moral sin to a lot of people of faith. Now we're talking about legalizing prostitution, the oldest business in the world, right? I personally don't care, but you want to tax it and all this other stuff. Now, like, is that something you should hang your hat on? Like I legalized the prostitution here in the state, and they brought in $1 billion. Yet the state or whatever you live still can be broke. It could still be all this stuff, but I don't know. That's something I would be bragging about if I was any type of person running for office or it was in office.
Right. Well, now flip back 15 years. Can you perceive that there would be a day where people would say we should legalize abortions so that everybody has the right, to kill or make their choice for themselves? And you'd probably think that's unreasonable, 20 years ago for something like that to take place. And look at it now. Now it's in every government commercial, the stance of the candidate, whether they're pro or against. And you wouldn't have thought that possible, 20, 30 years ago or whatever.
Well, that's because it's not illegal as a certain party is saying. It's still available in a lot of states. The way what they're going, they're trying to say it's going to become illegal. They're by extremists. Yet you still got companies who offer employment, talking about if the state you work in doesn't offer you, you don't have access to this, we will gladly fly you or take you anywhere that has it. But even their current current governor, one of the candidates that's running for governor said, even if I get elected, he's obviously pro-life. He goes, there is nothing I can do to reverse that in this state. And he's basically talking about like Chicago ain't gonna let me do that. But it's still offered here. I mean, it just federally, it's not protected like marijuana, right? It's legal in Illinois, but federally, it's still against the law federally to sell marijuana. You could federally be busted and you could be federally charged. And locally, it's not.
Right. Yeah. No, not to get into the whole abortion thing, but I'm just saying even the thought of having that open conversation between candidates was kind of unseen for all those years ago. So today,
like I didn't inhale.
Right. So it kind of seems unthinkable that we would have the conversation between legalizing prostitution, but is that going to be like the next big candidate thing in 15 years that, I'm pro prostitution, and then there's going to be candidates that, well, I'm against prostitution? Is that going to be like a big talking point in 15 years?
I think that's a great question. Who knows what 15 years, even if we do talk about it, we might get banned on some platforms, what I think it's going to be. But generally, yeah, I mean, yes, I'll give you that. Society's views has definitely changed, especially right now, this current political climate of I want to do what makes me feel good, and I don't care what anybody else thinks. And now a lot of people adopted that mantra of like, it makes me feel good, or this is how I identify. They don't want nobody, even common sense people are just like, what are you talking about? This is insane. You're this or you're that. And they don't want to hear it. They silence those people. Hence, I think the average person is kind of scared to say stuff. And two, I think there are a little bit more people that think like that. They just don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Especially people who have families, because it's it's just the way the world we live in, and I think slowly we're gonna come out of that and just be. You always hope for like the better things, so people be more practical, more common sense. But even that lately, it seems lacking from a lot of people. People just get upset, like this is what I believe in. I don't care. I feel this, and like it's just you can't even have a good dialogue or conversation about it because people fly off the handle immediately.
Yeah,
It's tough, man. But I think at the end of the day, we just need to respect the differences. Um, Going back to what you first started saying about how gambling, drugs, alcohol, prostitution, all that's a sin in the Bible. Um, there are plenty of things in the Bible that as a sin that's legal, like
I included
adultery.
other faiths, bro, not numbers to the Bible.
Like, well, yeah, not just the Bible, right? But like,
right. Just example.
there's sins that are legal because they're not, like, for example, adultery or lying. Lying is a sin, but if you lie to somebody, you're not going to go to jail, depending on what it is, right? If you're
In
lying,
court,
like in
you
a court,
can, yeah.
right? But that's it's very, very specific, you know. Same thing with prostitution. Like if you rape someone and you know that's illegal, right? But you can pay for it, and that should arguably be legal, right? Like it. What I'm trying to say is that there are sins that aren't necessarily illegal, but that doesn't mean that we need to control what the society does by making things that are sins illegal,
Right.
because we're forcing religion upon people that aren't religious. It's their choice whether they want to be religious and follow the doctrine of whatever scripture they follow, right? If Muslim, you're Jewish, you're Christian, whatever you are, you're going to follow that. You don't have to, though. You shouldn't have to.
Right. Well, I think that's where democracy is. It's the best because I believe a certain way, and I'm going to vote for the people that have common interest to what I believe. And the person next to me can believe in totally different things, and he can vote for the person that he believes reflects his opinions. And that's the greatness of this country is that we can each vote for who we think will represent us the best. And to me, I think you're right, Noel and Andy, that we should respect what other people's opinions are, even though I might not agree with it. And we
It,
should be able to have civil conversations to discuss those points.
like I've always talked about on this show. Yes, the like we talk about the community, right? A lot of communities are different. Like I know in Muslim communities, I think it was like a big deal in somewhere in Michigan, like Detroit. They have a suburb. They have that big thing to for them to remind them to pray, and it goes over the loudspeaker. Now that community is majority Muslim. That's normal for them. Like, but if you come out here and like where the community is mostly Hispanic or Christian or whatever, that you can't force, like if you have two people that are there that are that faith, and then these your whole rest of the community isn't, like you can't, those two can't dominate what they has to be put for that community. So it's like, to me, that's how I look at it. Yeah, some of it's wrong, like racism, absolutely. Like it was prevalent in the South. I mean, still to this day, but like people didn't tolerate like uh, people of color or anything like living in there, and they forced them out. Like that's illegal. But it like, but the big, like now we're talking about now, like each community is different, and like you're talking about everybody's different. Like you respect that, like especially depending on the majority of people who live in that community. So like again, like people, there's communities in Texas. They're like, yo, Texas, like we love guns and all this other stuff, and people are like they're crazy, but that's normal for them down there. And you're like big
Right.
cities, or like people are not used to you owning a gun or having them. They're taught their whole life that it's fucking bad. So I mean, but you can't force your belief if you go down there or you'll go up there. Like this, that's what's going on at that particular place that you visit, live in, or if you move.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
To me, the way I interpret the Bible, being of Christian faith, is to respect other people's beliefs, even though you might disagree with it, and not judge them or condemn them for it because that's God's job to do. So I think it's ultimately if we all just respect each other, as long as it's not something gravely, like, well, I like to beat up on women and that's what I believe in, and start beating up women and that's his beliefs. No, there is a line to where
Yes.
um, it might be your belief that this is okay, but morally, and I think that's where it gets kind of difficult. Some people get really hot about stuff like that. But I
See,
think as long as open dialogue can be happen, a lot of things could be squashed and kind of hammered out.
So,
there's a certain protection of an individual once you start infringing on that person's like physical, spiritual, whatever body, then that's when that becomes an issue, right? Like, but if you make prostitution legal, that's not going to affect me, you, everyone else. It's not going to affect them. It's only going to affect the two parties that are involved. And if those parties aren't any of us, then we have no real reason to say, hey, that should be illegal. Now, if they try to force us into something, then that's when it's like, all right, no, that's illegal. That's, you can't force any of us to do something we don't want to do. But having that freedom of choice, I mean, that's what this country is about, and it is the oldest profession, like you were saying. So it's one of those things that's it's a gray area. But like you said, gambling's legal, alcohol's legal. So I feel like, yeah, that's, while it's a weird gray area, um, there's a reason why it is the oldest profession, why all the religions haven't been able to stop it, and probably won't ever will be able to stop it. So I guess if the government's gonna make it legal, man, maybe they'll make some tax money off it and give us a little bit of discount on these
so
liquors.
yeah, we got a little serious here, but let me ask you this: did anybody search out his video and watch his performance?
No,
No,
Andy,
I didn't.
man, just like Noel said, man, it's a sin, so it's against the law. You're not supposed to do that.
Didn't so Danny? That's a no. No, I'm guessing that's a no.
Yeah, that's a definite no.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. So,
But
but
I know you were curious, right, Andy?
I was wanting to see like what I vote for this guy based off his performance. Um, it gets said in a statement one of his three primary goals is to advance sex positivity, including several proposals for legislation designed to explicitly protect sexual rights by ending government involvement in marriage, the right to become a parent in case of pregnancy, the right of women to terminate an abortion, decriminalization of sex consulting adults, blah blah blah. And then at the end he goes, Itka's campaign website described the candidate as not married, no kids, not celibate, and an atheist. So and he at the end he goes, I'm also, people might not know this, but I'm an introvert. So I don't know if he's an introvert, why he's making sex tapes. And like this isn't like he put like his phone, like this was like he made a fucking tape. Like he
Yeah, like it's
hired,
legit. Yeah.
yeah, it's like he hired a woman of that profession, and like I think she directed it. I read somewhere else she got paid, and he made it like a full service thing. So
Whoa, man, do you think he used campaign money to pay for this
that's,
video?
well, yeah, that's why I don't know if he already announced his candidacy. That's a thing they need to look into because that will probably get him in trouble.
Well, I
Um,
don't know if you hire a commercial company to come make a commercial like I'm for working men and blah blah blah, blah, and you see some guy walking. Well, he's paying with campaign money. So what's the difference between him paying for it to be on Fox News and this guy paying for it to be on Pornhub?
I gotta keep an eye on that. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think if it's on Pornhub and he's like verified, he probably makes some money off the views. So, and I think I read some on another article that his view count, I think it was hovering like around the 2,000, and I think when the article or whatever the news broke, it like shot up to like over 30,000 like in a couple days.
Wow.
So he's probably making some money off of it, and I don't know. Like I said, I personally don't care. But it's just the state of American politics with this guy's like, yeah, I made a sex tape. Like, go look at it. I'm. This is for protecting workers' rights of the sex industry and stuff. It's just like, and at the end he's like, oh, so I'm an introvert. Like, what kind of bullshit is this? Like,
Well, he did say that he did this also to bring eyes to the conversation. So he did that. We're talking about it. So
well, yeah, that's probably the only thing that worked. Yeah.
But guys, I think that's about it for us this week. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Remember to follow Freeform Network on Twitter at Freeform Network. Send in those questions. Are you going to vote for this guy? ffnquestions@gmail.com. Visit that webpage. Andy works hard to make it look nice. freeformnetwork.podbean.com. There, hit like or subscribe on whatever you're using to listen to us or to even view us on YouTube as well. We appreciate it. Share those videos, like the videos. It really helps us out to get us to a bigger audience. But that's it for this week for us. We got Andy.
It's all good, Andy, and we'll catch you guys next time.
And we got Noel.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Enjoy that tax rebate. Hopefully it'll help you buy another gallon of gas.
For sure, man. We'd like to thank you all for listening. Hey, and a last thing, Andy. I don't know if you noticed, man. My boy Sater Mania, man. I think he's got a girlfriend because I haven't seen a lot of wrestling pics. I've been seeing a lot of girlfriend pics, man.
He's been posting my girlfriend. So I'm not sure that's his girlfriend. I gotta confirm that.
Good for him, man. Happy to hear it, man.
Yeah.
So, for all you out there, Sater Mania fans, hey, my boy's got a girl, man. He's getting there. Good, Good for him, man. We'll talk to you all later.
That was cool, Dad.